In just a moment, in about halfway through our program, we are going to ask you to become a little bit more involved. But for right now, you get to sit with your feet flat on the floor, very, very tall. And you get to pay attention in 3 ways. Watching with your eyes, listening with your ears, and feeling with your hearts and bodies.
Okay, Nati, puksaput. For hundreds of thousands of years, the forests have been living with fire. They have made a place for fire, weaving a dance of earth and sky, sun and wind. All living beings, animals and plants, people and trees, flowers and birds, have been making a place for themselves in the dance, and a place for fire. To know the story of this dance, we listen. Fire speaks the land, and the land speaks fire.
Lightning strikes, sparks of fire on sight. The people camping by get flooded with fright. By the sudden ignite, they now question what might happen if it burns all night. It might go high and wide, a full-fledged forest fire. It might just burn for miles and miles and miles. It might just get too mighty to fight, right? We got to put it out right now at first sight, right? Stick with the flame before they all unite. The fire starts to dance and dances on quite. A Lucifer and slide, try and see it with your eyes. This light stays alive by the light inside. Pine needles, shrubs, trees, dry leaves provide a quick meal, and it sparks the choice to survive. They all unite with this breath and swine. Fire speaks the land, and the land replies. If it burns, that the heat releases. The ember waves are radiating dance through the trees. The flames are getting harder as the fire starts to breathe. It's growing right in front of us, we look in disbelief. The fire it breathes on, creates its own song. Oxygen window and feeds and needs on. With the feeling feeds on, it proceeds on. Storm blooms spreading and it won't be too long. It's spotting up ahead now, its torch is way along. Now it's full grown, as soon as it's long gone. Cross the mountain top and here we are, we're here all alone. What we gonna do now, it's moving on so strong. Burning logs and everything is combustion. It's conduction with convection. Turning green to black quick as that is change direction. Next is the record smoking as we'll make it hectic. But if we act fast, we got the chance to stop it. We'll save the day, get the water and drop it. You'll grab the bucket, fill it up to the top it. Will surely be our only chance to squash it. Cool down the heat with the water from the creek. Put out the fire, save the forest, save the trees. Let's shout and celebrate for all our good deeds. Let's dance around in joy and happiness and jubilee. Put it out, yo, we put it up, put it up, put it up. Let the people shout, put it up, yo, we put it up. Now we can learn what it's all about. Put it up, yo, we put it up, put it up, put it up. Let the people shout. Now we know for sure what it's all about. Fire speaks the land, and that's what it's about.
I say, was there a fire nearby?
Yeah, it was right here. We put it out.
Yes, I see. A creepy crawly fire, was it?
It was. Wow, are you a detective?
No, I'm a scientist. I study forests and the story of this land. Was this fire threatening you?
No, but fire is bad.
Yeah, we're always supposed to put out a fire.
Well, you do need to protect yourselves and other people camping nearby. Fire can be dangerous if you're not careful. For the last 100 years or so, humans have tried to control fire because we needed to protect our homes. We began to think of fire as bad, a real villain, something for us to fight. But as it turns out, there's more to the story than that.
Fire has a voice too. One we need to listen to as we live the story of this land.
Fire speaks the land.
And the land speaks fire.
Fire belongs here. It ran free across this land long before people came.
And when the first people came, they used fire as their tool.
Fire cleared the land. It cooked their food.
It kept them warm and lighted the cold, dark nights. Gave them a place to gather.
And heard their stories. Today, fire still belongs here.
In the community we share.
Trees and meadows, animals and people. We all need fire.
Let's look at how fire works. Fire needs 3 things to burn: fuel, heat, and oxygen.
The fire triangle!
Fuel, heat, oxygen. 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 Fuel. Heat. Oxygen, fuel, heat, oxygen, fuel, heat, oxygen, fuel. Heat. Oxygen. Fuel, heat, oxygen. Fuel, heat, oxygen.
A fire needs fuel, heat, and oxygen to be a fire, just like a triangle needs all 3 sides to be a triangle. Take away any of the sides, and the fire goes away.
I have a burning question. What do you mean, fuel? Gasoline?
Well, sure, but in the forest, when we say fuel, we mean grasses, needles, and twigs, leaves, branches, trees, anything that will burn. Now, heat.
Holy smokes, it was sure hot when the fire was here.
But where did the heat come from?
Were you kids playing with matches?
No!
Did you forget to pour water on your campfire last night and stir it until it was cold mud?
No!
Was there a thunderstorm?
Yes!
With lightning?
Yes!
That must have been spectacular! Lightning is filled with heat. When lightning strikes, the temperature of the air around it can reach 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. When it touched your tree, boom! It ignited the fire.
And there's oxygen in all this air.
That's right! And wind is air on the move. Wind influences a wildfire in many ways. Think about starting your campfire last night. When you blew on it, what happened?
It burned bigger.
Because you were using air to push heat into the twigs you've gathered to start the fire. Fuel, heat, oxygen. Wind helps wildfires grow in exactly the same way. It can also carry burning embers out ahead of the fire, starting little spot fires.
Fire isn't the only thing that needs fuel, heat, and oxygen.
We do!
And I bet you could use some oxygen right now. Take a breather. Before the show, the dancers took time to stretch and heat up their muscles. And if I know them, they're already thinking about what they'll eat to refuel their bodies after the show. It took over a year to choreograph Fire Speaks the Land. I bet that you are noticing some of the choices that we made. At times, you've seen solos, like the Scientist solo, danced by Michael, or the Campers duet, danced by Dagny and Caitlin. The Fire Triangle Trio, danced by Allison, Michael, and Amanda. The quartet from the opening with our 4 women. And when we have everybody on stage at once, all 5 dancers, it's a quintet. Dancers use counts to coordinate their movements.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
As the audience, you'll notice our dancers moving in lots of different ways, like how they fall safely to the floor. And they've practiced moving fluidly along the floor. But sometimes dancers don't move at all. They freeze in a shape. Dancers can make stillness look very alive. You can watch for some of these dance elements in the next part of our program.
As I was saying, when a fire is burning in the forest, the heat spreads in 3 ways: by convection, conduction, and radiation. Fire burns from low to high because heat likes to rise. We call this convection. That's why fire on the ground can sometimes climb trees. Fire also spreads through conduction. That's when a burning branch touches another branch. When trees are close together and touching, fire can pass from tree to tree. Another way fire moves is by radiation. Some fires are so intense, they throw waves of heat through space, causing objects that aren't even touching the fire to burst into flames. The sun radiates heat, which you can feel on your face. Good thing it's not hot enough to make us burst into flames.
Okay, audience, in just a moment, we're going to involve you in our convection dance. Watch Caitlin, Dagny, and Michael. They're going to begin by sitting slumped over with their hands by their ankles. When I gave them the go signal, they're going to take 4 counts to rise up to standing, just like hot air going up a chimney. Ready? Here they go, rising 1, 2, 3, 4. The next 4 counts, they're going to sink back down to sitting, just like cool air sinks. Ready? Here they go, sinking 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you're going to watch them do all 8 counts. 4 counts to rise, and then 4 counts to sink. But would you watch them very carefully? Because you can see they're sitting in very close proximity to one another, just like you are. But they're not going to touch when they do this. Let's try it with music. 5, 6, ready, here they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many counts were there in that dance? 8. We'd like to try this with all of you. So, would you sit and slump forward in your seat? You're going to do the convection dance. Your hands are by your ankles. And would you see if you can do this without touching the person next to you, just like they did? 4 counts to rise, then 4 counts to sink. Ready, and here you go. Rising 1, 2, 3, 4, sinking 5, 6, 7, 8. Pretty good, but I'll tell you something. Dancers are very, very, very much perfectionists about their counts. It has to be exact. So, I want to try it with you again, and make sure you're sitting back down on count 8, okay? Ready, slumping down, 5, 6, ready, here you go. Rising 1, 2, 3, 4, sinking 5, 6, 7, 8. That was beautiful. Now, we're going to choreograph it in a different way. You're going to watch the dancers do it for 8 counts, and then they're going to watch you do it for 8 counts, and then you watch them, and then they'll watch you, okay? So who are we starting with? The dancers. Okay, here they go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Rising 1, 2, 3, 4. Sinking 5. Get ready. 7. Here you go, audience. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sinking 5, 6, 7. Here the dancers go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ready. Last time for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and sink. 6, 7. That was a spectacular convection dance. Give yourself a hand. Now, we would like to invite your teachers to come up on stage to show. what this is all about. We know that fire spread when one burning object touches another. That's called conduction. So, this is a burning ember that has ignited. And when it touches another object, it spreads through our forest. And we will watch, because this is how a forest fire spreads. We are watching it. It's spreading. It slowed down a little. Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. This fire is conducting creatively. All the way through a forest. Yes! Give your teachers a big hand. We're going to involve you again when you're really quiet. We're going to look at the third way that fire spread, through radiation. And Allison is going to demonstrate with Amanda and I. As she's heating up, her arms are moving in front of her face. 1, 2, 3, 4. She radiated the heat to us, and we responded on count 4. Watch us radiate back to her. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa. Now, you will notice that on count 4, she radiated. And on count 4, we did a little impulse. And that's what you get to do, because Allison is going to radiate heat out to the whole audience. And you can follow Amanda right here, because she's going to do the audience's role. Okay? Here she goes. Allison's going 1, 2, 3, 4. Your impulse. 1, 2, 3. Send it back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't knock her over. 2, 3, 4. Good job, boys and girls. Give yourselves a hand. You just demonstrated convection, conduction, and radiation through movement.
Into the woods and stop and look around. There's an easy way to tell which forest you found. There's a whole world of forest to smell and to see. Today we're only gonna talk about 3. Ponderosa pines stand lonely but proud. Lodgepole pines grow up in big crowds. White bark pines twist and it bends high up in the mountains with a whole lot of friends. Big bark, big trunk, branches reaching high. I must be standing with the ponderosa pine. Pileated woodpecker white-tailed deer, arrow leaf balsam root are like you in here. Elk munch and munch grass, lots of room for birds to fly. This forest is healthy and I think I know the reason why. Every living thing growing in the woods agrees. The forests need fire to live in harmony. The forests need fire to live in harmony. And there'll always be another seed to grow underneath. It's the never-ending cycle of forest community. Branches weaving together, blocking out the sky. I must be standing with the lodgepole pine. Tall skinny trunks, surrounding its cones, waiting there to open when the fire comes home. Beneath the canopies, a great place for critters to hide. This forest is healthy and I think I know the reason why. Every living thing growing in the woods agrees. The forests need fire to live in harmony. The forests need fire to live in harmony. And there'll always be another seed to grow underneath. It's the never-ending cycle of forest community. Gnarly twisted trees way up the mountainside. We finally reach the white bark pine. Clark's nutcracker, stashing pine seeds. It's exactly what this forest needs. Eating these seeds will help the grizzly bear survive. This forest is healthy and I think I know the reason why. Every living thing growing in the woods agrees. The forests need fire to live in harmony. The forests need fire to live in harmony. And there'll always be another seed to grow underneath. It's the never-ending cycle of forest community. Every living thing growing in the woods agrees. The forests need fire to live in harmony. The forests need fire to live in harmony. The forests need fire to live in harmony. The forests need fire to live in harmony.
Long, long ago, the fire was dancing with the earth, a beautiful, soaring, whirling spiral. Red, molten rock, pulsing, teetering, plates colliding, slabs melting, lava thrown skyward. bubbling rivers of rock, spilling everywhere, hardening into land. Over time, plants and trees, insects and animals, all living beings join the dance. And for millions of years they moved together, circles of beauty, shaping space, finding balance. Anything that dances with fire changes. Fire is transformation.
Ponderosa pines learned to reach tall and spread their branches high and wide. They send their roots deep into the earth and grow thick bark, all to resist the fire. When fire dances with ponderosa pine forests, it creeps through the needles and grasses and crawls up the low shrubs. These creepy-crawly fires burn the ground fuels and the little fur who crowd in under the huge old trees. The animals flee to escape the fire. Creepy-crawly fires keep the forest open under the big trees. Soon after the fire, the arrowleaf, balsam root, bunch grasses, and other plants send up new shoots from their deep roots. The animals come back to nibble in the tender, fresh leaves. Frequent, low-intensity fires help the ponderosa pine forest thrive.
Lodgepole pines love to dance together in tall, skinny stands, their upper branches intertwining and their trunks close together. When a fire starts in the lodgepole pine forest, things heat up fast. Flames leap and run from tree to tree, huge sheets of fire crowning and devouring the canopy, swaths of lodgepole gobbled in one great gulp. Till there's nothing left but charred snags and ashy ground. Rip-roaring treetop fires burn bright and hot.
Lodgepole pines love this kind of fire. They make a special kind of cone which needs fire to open. These serotinous cones are sealed in a waxy resin which melts away in the hot fire. Carried on their papery wings by the wind, lodgepole seeds fall from the cones and scattered, blend into the burned ground. In the spring, when the earth is moist and the sun warms their sooty beds, the lodgepole take root and shoot up again, along with hundreds of others, all crowding together, growing straight and skinny and tall to wait for the next rip-roaring fire.
Even higher up the mountain, all the way up to the tree line, we find whitebark pine forests. It's cold and windy up here. The gnarled whitebark pine grow in scattered clumps of 2 to 5 trees with space in between. Their branches curve upwards with the cones held high. The ground is rocky, filled with carpets of short plants. Here, fire dances like a roller coaster, smoldering and creeping around the dried carpet of plants and grasses, then crawling up the low shrubs, into the trees, speeding faster and torching the white bark pine tops, then dropping to the ground again to smolder and creep to the next cluster of trees and reach and torch the treetops and drop to the ground to smolder and creep to the next.
The white bark pine have found a special way to live with fire. Their seeds are heavy and can't ride the wind like lodgepole seeds. They need a little help moving around. The Clark's Nutcracker thinks these seeds taste great. It uses its strong beak to pry open the cones and pluck out the pine nuts. It holds them in a special pouch under its tongue and flies off to bury them in hidden caches. As it turns out, one of the best places to stash seeds is where a roller coaster fire has burned. Clark's Nutcrackers are constantly on the move, flying thousands of nuts to hundreds of hiding spots. All winter long, the birds come back to their caches and eat the seeds. In the spring, they feed them to their young. Some caches get eaten by other animals, but a few of the hidden treasures are left alone and soon sprout into clusters of new trees, making white bark pine one of the first species to come back after a fire. They grow slow and steady, waiting hundreds of years for the next roller coaster fire to find them.
If there are some students in the audience who would like to come up on stage and learn a dance showing how the forest regenerates. If you are a good listener and would like to help and are sitting with your arms, with your hand in the air, and if a dancer chooses you, you can come up on stage, but would you be very careful to step over our delicate equipment here? Step over it and not touch it. Thank you. Follow that dancer on stage. Gentle, watch your wires. Follow that dancer on stage. And all of the kids on stage, you don't have to pay attention to me right now, just your dancer. And we would like a few more people to show and help us talk about some of the dances we have been doing. Raise your hand if you would like to help, and Allison and Michael will be choosing people. And if you have been chosen, come up and stand right here and find your own personal space. Okay, so you get to listen to me and I will tell you what you're going to do. Can you look at me? Beautiful. Okay, we talked earlier, audience, about some of the choices that a choreographer makes. And another choice that a choreographer makes is the level and the tempo, or the speed of the movement. So we're going to have you show some of the movements we've been doing in our dance. Would you make your body very soft and let yourself sink slowly down to the floor and lie down without touching anyone else? These kids are going to show the ground fire. So would you begin to move your arms and legs on a low level very slowly? We chose a low level and a slow tempo for our ground fire. Moving your arms, moving your legs, moving your back, moving your fingers, and moving your heads. Beautiful. That was lovely. Now, slowly bring yourself back up to standing. Because when we did our treetop fire, we did jumping and leaping and reaching in the air. Michael, do you want to show that one? He's jumping and leaping and reaching in the air. And we're going to do that jumping, leaping, reaching movement for 4 counts and then freeze. How many? 4. Ready, treetop fire, here you go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and freeze. Wow, you made the bells ring. Okay, but sometimes dancers don't move, we freeze in a shape, just like you're frozen. Would you make a new shape, very tall, proud shape, just like a ponderosa pine, big, tall ponderosa pine tree, very majestic and proud with your branches held high. Good. Now, would you all come close to the center where Michael is and raise your arms up and make your body very tall and skinny, but not touching. These remind us of the lodgepole pine forest because the lodgepoles are very tall, skinny trees and they grow very close together. And this is where our really hot crown fires burn. Good, and spread out again. Spread out again. And this time you can kind of be close to somebody else, near a partner or 2. And would you sink down a little bit to a middle level and twist around your partners? Twist around your partner. So you're making a twisted shape at a middle level, just like a white bark pine forest. These twisted, gnarly trees grow way up at the high elevations in Montana. Beautiful. Take a bow, boys and girls. You can go back to your seats after your bow. Good job. Okay, audience, it's almost time for these 3 groups to show the way a forest regenerates after a fire. But we need all of your help in their dance. We're going to teach you a stage whisper. A stage whisper is just a little tiny bit louder than a regular whisper. And you're going to learn this movement and this stage whisper. It goes like this. And the cycle continues. Do you want to try it with us? With your arms. And the cycle continues. One more time. Ready? And the cycle continues. Now, Allison and Michael will show you your cue. Watch when they do this movement. This is your cue. And the cycle continues. Got it, audience? Okay. Boys and girls, we are ready for the forest regeneration dance. Okay, we'll turn on our music. We begin by visiting a healthy forest in the northern Rockies. Tall, proud ponderosa pines live here with some flowers and grasses here. Let's imagine it's been hot and dry for weeks. A storm comes through and lightning ignites a fire. This is a ground fire and it burns slowly, creeping and flickering in the grasses under the trees. Most of the trees survive, but the grasses and flowers burn. Soon, however, the flowers and grasses send up shoots from their deep roots that were protected from the fire. This forest is regenerating, and the fire has helped to make this a healthy forest. Ready, audience? And the cycle continues. Later in the summer, we find ourselves in a lodgepole pine forest with stands of trees very close together. Lightning ignites a fire here, and soon it becomes a wildfire, jumping and reaching into the treetops. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The forest has changed. Most of the trees have burned, and only 2 trees have survived the fire. The ground is now charred, black and sooty, but let's watch what happens. The lodgepole seeds open from the heat, and the seeds of other plants find a welcoming home in the dark, rich soil. The slow-growing trees grow tall and strong again, and we have a healthy, happy forest again. Ready, audience? And the cycle continues. Finally, we travel way up to the mountains, to the tree line. The white bark pines stand twisted and gnarled in the high elevation forest. This time, it's a less severe fire. It moves slowly on the ground, burning the grasses and flowers. Then it moves quickly up a tree and then falls down to the ground again. And the seeds find a home in the ground and slowly begin to grow again. It takes a long time for white bark pine forest to grow. Ready, audience? And the cycle continues. And this is how forests and fires dance here in the Rocky Mountains of Montana. Take a bow, boys and girls. Beautiful job. And you can go back to your seats. Nice work. Nice job of doing the forest regeneration dance.
Our ancestors taught us it was important to waste nothing and take only what was needed. The people knew that we were put here to take care of what we'd been given: plants, animals, water, and the forests themselves. One of their most powerful tools for taking care of things was fire. Our ancestors understood how to use fire. They knew when to burn to increase food and medicinal plants. They knew which kind of fire would improve forage for game animals like deer and elk, bighorn sheep, buffalo, antelope, and bear. They burned meadows so their horses would have plenty of succulent grass. They used fire to hunt, and they used it in warfare. They reduced fuel around their camps and cleared trails with fire. The plant and animal communities we have inherited today, the very landscape we live on, is a legacy shaped by thousands of years of travel use of fire. dance in a big circle with a rhythm of growth, burn, and regrowth. When we try to stop all fire, to exclude it completely, we upset the balance, we break the circle, we disrupt the cycle of life. Oh.